Okay, it's kind of funny that you posted this video today because I've been having this kind of video conversation with Warren25, and we're just having like a formal, regular conversation as if we're like face to face. And he asked me if I did anything else besides, if I passed time doing other things besides electronical things, and I sat there and I thought to myself, no, I don't. And I'm a computer science major. I love computers. I love video games. Most of the time either on the internet or playing a video game. But I mean, I get what you're saying completely because I've noticed it. Like when I go out somewhere, just go to the park or just walk somewhere, I kind of feel more alive. Where I think it kind of going on the internet all the time or playing TV or watching TV, video games or watching TV, you just kind of feel dull, dull about everything and just kind of like, and it's hard to explain, just like a dead feeling where when you actually go outside and do things, it's kind of like, wow, everything's so nice out. Like the sky looks great and, the grass is so green and the trees look beautiful and it's 10 times better than any graphics could do in a video game. And when I was younger, before video games became so incredibly huge, there were video games, but it wasn't as huge as now. And the internet was nothing like it is now. It was just only open to a few people here and there. It was nothing even compared to what it was now. Back then, we did things. Like that was when people used to just complain about television being too much, but people still did things. There were still things to do other than television. Television wasn't real life, not everybody had cable. And even people who did have cable didn't have 500 billion channels like it did now. And now kids are basically going on the internet right out of the womb, just the other day I heard of some 3-year-old going on eBay and accidentally buying a car. And I get what you're saying by dangerous. I don't think necessarily dangerous. I think, well, I guess it can be dangerous. Just like I get afraid of using that word because it sounds so extreme. So I don't know what to really say with that. I feel that it's bad for social adjustment. It's very bad, incredibly bad, because you have these teens learning to interact with others through Xbox Live or through some chat site or something, and they're not really learning how to interact with each other, and they're not learning about what to do in real life. And I think that's why I think now you have a lot more of those loner types out there than ever before, because so many people are just, it's easy to type to somebody that you're not looking at. It's easy to do all these things. And then you lose touch of reality. You lose touch of what it is to be face to face with somebody and actually touch them or see them or interact and have something, It's not even just about seeing, because I'm talking to you through this video cam. You're seeing me, I'm seeing you, but it's not the same thing as being in front of each other and actually talking. Socially it's very bad. And it's also a big part of the obesity problem that we're having in the United States now. Because everybody's just sitting down either on the internet or in front of a TV, sitting there eating a bunch of chips. So I guess in that way it is dangerous, because it's taking everybody away from reality. It's desensitizing them from everything. And it's kind of preventing them from interacting with each other, like fully really interacting with each other and kind of taking part in nature and going outside and doing things other than just sitting in front of your computer. And I'm guilty of that too. And I hate it when I think about it. Like when Warren asked me what I do, and the only thing I could think of was computer, video games, occasional television, and then college. And I just thought, that's really sad. I need to do other things. As for alcohol, I had my bad experience, and not a big fan of it at all. You're right completely. And I've only experienced that bad feeling once. Won't go into that whole story. At the moment, I felt great. Like, you feel great and on top of the world, and then later on you feel so sick. And every time I think back about that memory, I can only feel sick and just feel so, just like, I can't believe I went through it, and I just feel sick to my stomach thinking about it. But I don't think it's just with alcohol. I think any kind of chemical or antidepressant. I was on Paxil at one time in my life, and it didn't help. It didn't help because I became so dependent on it, and every time I felt very upset, I would take a lot, and then my body just got to the point where if I didn't take one, I felt sick, and I got so dependent on it, and it just, because I thought it was desensitizing me for everything. I didn't have to deal with things, but at the same time my body felt sick, and then I felt sick, and then I realized that when you don't depend on something and you just kind of say, I have to deal with reality, I have to take it for what it is and build up upon it and do something better with myself than mope about something, that's when I feel the most alive. I don't know if I'm making sense at all. But that's when I feel the most alive, when I sit there and say, this is a bad situation, but I'm going to deal with it. And I'm not going to sit there and depend on something else to take my mind away from that reality. And I think that's what, you're right, that's what entertainment and alcohol do. A lot of times you get upset, so you sit there and blast the music up, or go watch TV, or play a video game. And sometimes it's best to kind of deal with things head on, rather than just depend on something to take you away from it. I don't know if I'm making sense. You know, everything sounded so much better in my head, and now that I'm saying it, I'm kind of like, I sound like a weirdo, but I think you're right on both accounts, that it is dangerous, and it's kind of like really taking up our lives, you know. Sorry, I'm reading something at the same time. But it is taking up our lives, and there's so much more to life out there that we're not experiencing because we're kind of taken up by these things. And I guess in that way it is dangerous. If I made any sense at all, I really hope so. If I didn't, disregard all of this. I sound like a rambling lunatic, but yeah, good points.